Good day, that's what I was suspecting, that the tribe of Dan is the modern day Illuminati nations. Dan was the fifth son of Jacob, and his mother was Bilhah, the handmaid of Rachel. Rachel was very envious that her sister Leah had given Jacob 4 sons. Rachel told her husband to give her children, or else she would die. Jacob was angry with Rachel, his favorite wife. Rachel gave her handmaid Bilhah to Jacob as his wife. Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. Rachel said, God has judged me and has also heard my voice and has given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. Genesis 30:1-6. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, and adder in the path, that beats at the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. Genesis 49:16-17. Dan is missing from the list of tribes in the book of Revelation 7:5-8. The prophet Jeremiah references the serpents that shall bite and the snorting horses heard from Dan. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled at the sound of the neighing of his strong ones, for they are come and have devoured the land, and all that is in it, the city and those that dwell therein. For behold, I will send serpent cockatrice among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, said the Lord. Jeremiah 8:16-17. In the first book of the Bible, we see how Dan comes about, and we see the references made of him to him and the symbols that will be associated with him, his people, and his tribe. But in the last book of the Bible, he is found missing from the book of life, and those who will be saved, and it should come as no surprise as to why. The symbol that the Bible associates with him is that of a serpent. If we recall correctly, the devil is associated with the symbol in the book of Genesis, and in the gospel accounts, Jesus also makes reference to the brood of serpents that were the judgmental Jews, who he described as having Satan as their father. Notice also how he was the fifth son, and how important the penta number 5 is to the Illuminati. Pentagon, pentagrams, penta equal 5. In the book of the prophet Jeremiah, we see how the prophet warns the future regeneration of this coming war that will be brought upon by Dan and his followers' descendants. The following information clearly points to who the modern nations and the modern descendants of these tribes are. They are none other than the Illuminati Freemason nations of the world. As we stand on the precipice on this major nuclear conflict, let us be reassured as saints that the Bible has clearly pointed out who these serpents are, how they will bring war, and how they will be damned and not saved, along with being the nations where Freemasonry and the secret societies first began to flourish. They are also the nations where Protestant evangelical movements first began as well and broke away from the Catholic Church. Today's modern-day evangelical movements have introduced many end-time heresies that have swayed many living in these modern nations today. Is it any wonder why this tribe and their descendants are not found in the book of life, in the final book of Revelation? Also, is it any wonder why many of these modern nations were the descendants from the tribe of Dan first settled as today some of the most atheistic, immoral countries in the world? Tribe of Dan equals the modern New World Order Illuminati nations. Dan amongst the Celts, Dan in Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and northern England. In biblical times, the tribe of Dan has been divided into 3 or more different sections. One section as being in the northern Galilee, Josiah 1942, and neighbor Gad. Later part of this section moved with other Israelites to Scythia. The Danae in Syrica, east of Scythia, were also called Dingling, and were linked to the Dangalei, whose name means Dan of Galilee. They had been neighbors of the Goths from Gath, of Gadlosia in ancient eastern Iran. The Damnai of Scythia and Syrica were named similarly to the Damnoni of Scotland, who lived beside the northern river Don of Scotland, and the Damnonis of Dannonia, which was the name given to Devon and Cornwall. Dannonia in Britain was named after the tribe of Dan. The tribe of Dan was recalled in the Children of Dan in Welsh legend, and the tribe of Dana, Tuatha de Dan, who came into the British Isles, according to the Irish tradition, from the land of Israel via Greece and Scandinavia. The area Damnonia in southern Britain, as well as being alternatively called Dannonia, was also known as Diphenia. The name Diphenia is similar to that of Daphnia, which was the former name of Dan in the Galilee, in the land of northern Israel. Daphnia is also the name associated by the Talmud with the lost 10 tribes. In Scotland, the Damnoni of Dan adjointed the Gadini, probably of Gad, somewhat to the south in northern England, according to Ptolemy, was the city of Danum, which area was later to be occupied by Danes from Denmark. In this case, we see the possibility of a group of Celtic culture descended from Dan, who gave their name to the city of Danum, being followed by Scandinavians, who were also descended from Dan and setting in the same area. We have come across similar phenomenon several times in this study. So I know that some of the names are not easy to pronounce, so it will be posted in the video description so that you can understand exactly geographically where they were. Okay? Continuing. Then amongst the Vikings, Danes from Dan were recorded together with the Naphtali in Scythia. From Scythia, The Danes, moving via Sweden, conquered Denmark. The Danes and the Norwegians formed the Vikings, who invaded England. The Danes settled in the northeast of England and the Norwegians in the northwest. They also conquered and settled in Ireland and in parts of Scotland. I had to read it to you because it is extremely interesting. I'm not the person who wrote that article, but when I find something extremely good, I read it to you. And this is written by Nando. I will post the link in the video description. I'm not the type of person to take credit for somebody else's work, okay? And this is very well done. And not only that, everything, the history of the serpent seed, very interesting. Yes, very accurate. Continuing, the symbols of Dan still used today. Danes from the Israelite tribe of Dan invaded Denmark, Dan's mark, at about the same time as the Naphtali moved in large numbers into Norway. The tribe of Dan was represented by a snake or by the lion. Other accepted symbols of Dan were a pair of scales, an eagle, and a dragon. Many members of Dan settled in Denmark, in Ireland, in Wales, England, and the USA, where 40 to 50 million of people have Irish ancestry. The symbol of a snake was once worshipped in Ireland. A lion represents Denmark and England, Wales as a dragon on its flag, and the USA as an eagle. Hushim or Shuham, the son of Dan. The son of Dan, Hushim, Genesis 46:23, was also called Shuham, Numbers 26:42. Hesse in North Germany represented Hushim. Shuham may be found in the Suhani, who, according to Jordanese, were in Sweden like the Danes themselves are considered to have been. It is noticeable that quite often the tribes of Naphtali and Dan were interwoven, and that both appear to have been present in the Scythian Naphthalite group. Dan, Iceland. The coat of arms of Iceland includes a dragon, which was one of the symbols of Dan, a virtue, which in Hebrew is given the same name as eagle, is nether, and a nether was another one of the symbols of Dan, a bull, which is a symbol of Joseph, a giant which figure may represent Dan, and Samson, the national hero of Dan. Iceland historically has been associated with Norway and Denmark, in which countries, especially Denmark, the tribe of Dan made a significant contribution. Peoples of Dan: Dan, Don, Danaster, Danaper, Danube, all rivers associated with the, how to pronounce that? Skins. S-C-Y-T-H-S. Okay. Danava, a Scythian tribe. Dana, from Lebanon, Israel, to Ireland. Don, Wales. Danmonis, Cynthia, Scotland, southwest Britain, also known as Danonia. Dani, Danes of Denmark. Shuham, Shehan, Sweden. Suhumi, Finland, also associated with Simeon. Hushem, SC, Franks in Germany. History of the Freemasons and their connection to the nations of the tribe of Dan. Goose and Greedy Run, where the Grand Lodge of England was founded. The origins and early development of Freemasonry are a matter of some debate and conjecture. A poem known as the Regius Manuscript has been dated to approximately 1390 and is the oldest known Masonic text. There is evidence to suggest that there were Masonic lodges in existence in Scotland as early as the late 16th century. For example, the lodge at Kilwinning, Scotland, has records that date to the late 16th century and is mentioned in the Second Shall Statutes 1599, which specified that ye warden of ye Lug of King Kilwinning. I'm not going to continue to read that. It is in another language, so will be posted in the video description. There are clear references to the existence of lodges in England by the mid-17th century. The first Grand Lodge, the Grand Lodge of England, was founded on June the 24th, 1717, when 4 existing London lodges met for a joint dinner. This rapidly expanded into a regular body, which most England lodges joined. However, a few lodges resented some of the modernizations that GLE endorsed, such as the creation of the third degree, and formed a rival Grand Lodge in July the 1751, which they called the Ancient Grand Lodge of England. The two competing Grand Lodges viewed for supremacy the modern GLE and the Ancients until they united on November 25th, 1813, to form the United Grand Lodge of England. The Grand Lodge of England and the Grand Lodge of Scotland were formed in 1725 and 36 respectively. Freemasonry was exported to the British colonies in North America by the 1730s, with both the Ancients and the Moderns, as well as the Grand Lodges of Ireland and Scotland, chartering offspring or daughter lodges and organizing various provincial grand lodges. After the American Revolution, independent U.S. Grand Lodges formed themselves within each state. Some thought was briefly given to organizing an overarching Grand Lodge of the United States with George Washington, who was a member of the Virginian Lodge, as the first Grand Master, but the idea was short-lived. The various state Grand Lodges did not wish to diminish their own authority by agreeing to such a body. Although there are no real differences in the Freemasonry practiced by lodges chartered by the Ancients or the Moderns, the remnants of this division can still be seen in the names of the most lodges, F and AM being Free and Accepted Masons, and AF, AM being Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. View of room at the Masonic Hall, Bury St. Edmunds, Suffolk, England, early 20th century. The oldest jurisdiction on the continent of Europe, the Grand Orient de France, GODF, was founded in 1728. However, most English-speaking jurisdictions cut formal relations with the Great Orient of France around 1877, when the Great Orient of France removed the requirement that its members have a belief in a deity, thereby accepting atheists. The Grand Lodge Nationale Française is currently the only French Grand Lodge. that is in regular amity with the UGLE and its many concordant jurisdictions worldwide. Due to the above history, Freemasonry is often said to consist of two branches, not in mutual regular amity: the UGLE and concordant tradition of jurisdictions, mostly termed Grand Lodges, in amity, and the GODF, European Continental Tradition of Jurisdiction, often termed Grand Orients, in amity. The most Latin countries, the GODF style of European Continental Freemasonry predominates, although in most of these Latin countries there are also Grand Lodges that are in regular amity with the UGLE, and the worldwide community of Grand Lodges that share regular fraternal relations with UGLE. The rest of the world, accounting for the bulk of Freemasonry, tends to follow more closely to the UGLE style, although minor variations exist. Nendo, I will put the link in the video description. So, last paragraphs were less interesting, but it's interesting to see how the tribe of Dan developed throughout history, and that's why I thought it was very important to read. Thanks for listening. As one of the tribes of Israel, Dan shall be a serpent by the way, and adder in the path, that beats at the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. Genesis 49:16-17. Dan is missing from the list of tribes in the book of Revelation 7:5-8. The prophet Jeremiah references the serpents that shall bite and the snorting horses heard from Dan. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled at the sound of the neighing of his strong ones, for they are come and have devoured the land, and all that is in it, the city, and those that dwell therein. For behold, I will send serpent cockatrice among else, she would die. Jacob was angry with Rachel, his favorite wife. Rachel gave her handmaid Bilhah to Jacob as his wife. Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. Rachel said, God has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and has given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. Genesis 30:1-6. Dan shall judge his people as good day. That's what I was suspecting, that the tribe of Dan is the modern day Illuminati nations. Dan was the fifth son of Jacob, and his mother was Bilhah, the handmaid of Rachel. Rachel was very envious that her sister Leah had given Jacob 4 sons. Rachel told her husband to give her children among you, which will not be charmed, and they shall bite you, said the Lord. Jeremiah 8:16-17. In the first book of the Bible, we see how Dan comes about, and we see the references made of him, to him, and the symbols that will be associated with him, his people, and his tribe. But in the last book of the Bible, he is found missing from the book of life, and those who will be saved, and it should come